Did you know you can get great coffee with nothing but a heat gun, a steel pan, and $5 a pound unroasted coffee beans that you can buy off someplace like Amazon? I got a link down below. You can make your best coffee you've ever had. And the thing is, even if you buy the inexpensive beans, it will taste better. This is the Sully guarantee. It will taste better than anything you've gotten from Starbucks that didn't have 1,200 calories. Cheers. My name is Sully, 5 freaking onion rings. I am coming at you today as a coffee lover who loves coffee. And by loves coffee, I mean, let me give you some credentials. I was born in 1977. Holy cow. I had my first drink of coffee in 1977. Whenever my mom's friend decided it would be funny to put coffee and cream in my bottle just to watch what happens. And this is what happens however many years later it has been. From that day on, my life was never quite the same. 6 months old. Actually, I don't even think I was 6 months old. And she said it was more cream than coffee, but I know because I grew up drinking the Waffle House coffee at 4. And when they said, do you want decaf or regular? I would say I would prefer regular. And I will drink decaf if you throw it out the back door. Give me regular. And then they would try to be like, oh, ha, 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 and then give me decaf, thinking I wouldn't know the difference. Trust me, I know the difference. And whenever Starbucks came out, I used to be like, ooh, that's really good. And then I learned, wait a minute. Starbucks is nothing but over-roasted coffee beans. So if you like the Starbucks taste, you just do this, only you go a little too far. And when you start seeing black smoke and beans come up, then you have Starbucks. But until then, I'm going to show you the easiest way to make the best coffee beans. I use an AeroPress now, and it actually, I thought it was hype, but the AeroPress coffee is probably one of the best I've had. Just because it's simplicity and it doesn't leave any silt in the bottom like French presses, which I kind of, I like it sometimes. I don't know. French press is normally the best, but the AeroPress, I'm really, cheers. So let's show just very simply how to make some good coffee. So all you're going to do really is take a large amount of beans, a handful, 2 handfuls. I would not use a pound or anything like that. Namely, the more beans you have, the more heat you're going to have, and a heat gun really isn't meant to be turned on for that long. Now, you don't want to use too few beans because they will burn very quickly. Your goal here is to run the heat gun through the beans repeatedly until you start to smell something that's kind of like wheatgrass, and you'll start to see the shaft start to fly up, and that's when you know you're on the right track. Now my heat gun has 2 settings on it, a 1500 watt and a 750 watt. I like to start off with the 750 and keep it slow so that I can warm up the beans and get them all ready. If you start too hot, you'll end up just popping them very quickly and the flavors won't develop. My goal is to take about 9 to 12 minutes to get to the roast that I want. Anything faster than that and you'll end up with a little bit of a flatter coffee, and anything more than that and you'll end up over roasting the beans and won't get as much caffeine. So all you'll have to do is swirl around and keep the beans moving while you heat them up. I start to switch over to high heat once they're warm, and you'll know it because in this type of situation your fingers will start to heat up and it will be noticeably warm. After a good bit of time doing this, you'll see the beans start to change color and the smell will start to come up. It smells kind of like a wheatgrass that just smells like a burning warm wheatgrass scent. It does not smell anything at all like what you're used to with regular coffee. It is nothing like that at all, and I can't stress that enough. And you'll want to keep the beans moving so that they all start to color evenly. You don't want to leave a couple of beans that are not. Around this stage, you'll start to hear little popping sounds like popcorn, and it's just what's called first crack, and generally that's the beginning stage of your ultralight roast coffees. if you stop around here, you'll end up with a very caffeinated drink, but it will taste pretty bad to most people. It's kind of bitter, and yeah, it doesn't taste like coffee. It tastes more like a bean tea or something strange. But as you continue along, the beans will start to roast, and you'll get to what's known as second crack, and we will stop here and let you listen to that. Had to get some more light here, but around here you'll start to see smoke forming, and you'll get to what's known as second crack, and that's your city roast type, what's normally your breakfast coffees, or something that's pretty high caffeinated, and but has a much better flavor than the first crack. Second crack's normally where you get your breakfast blend at a hotel, or some of your better shops that know what they're doing. At the second crack, that's where you really taste the bean, and it's a good place to stop just after all the beans stop popping. That will give you your origin flavor. You'll know what type of bean you have, and you'll get enough caffeine that you can definitely feel it, and it just overall tastes really good just after the second crack. That's where I normally end up stopping mine. Now, there is a third crack, and I don't ever really go to that, but for your Italian coffees or your espressos, you would go all the way to that third crack. And to me, that's over roasted. But if you use cheap beans, mix them with Robusta, the cheap, nasty, highly caffeinated beans, you can actually mimic a lot of what you get from Starbucks by roasting to that dark level. Now, one thing you'll want to try to keep up with is to make sure all of the beans are a similar uniform color, and that's a little difficult in a bowl like this, but you have to keep moving back and forth and keep the heat constant. Generally speaking though, around 8 to 10 minutes you'll start to notice all the beans take on a uniform color. So yeah, a little bit after that second crack, you'll want to kind of slow down when you see everything's the same color and dump the beans out to cool off. What you're not wanting are dark, oily beans unless you want espresso. I like them when they're a little bit brown, just starting to turn dark. But once you cool them out, let them rest for a few hours and then store in an airtight container after about 6 hours. And there you have the best tasting beans you will ever experience. It's coffee time. It's just so good. It's just so good. Give me a like, a thumbs up. If you got the COVID hair rocking, let me know. Because if you think I'm going to cut this gloriousness before I'm able to go back to work safely in office, you got another thing coming. So if you're rocking that COVID hair, oh man, I just can't keep my fingers out of it. Like, whoo, it's good. It's good stuff. Don't forget, like, thumbs up, subscribe. Get more coffee. It's some good stuff. Let me tell you, man. Actually, it really is. That's the sad thing. This is really good. It's really good. It's just good.